So good evening, everyone. Today we are going to cover our literature review. I'll be also showing you how to do the literature review, developing your framework, basically theoretical framework and conceptual framework. Also, I'll be explaining the variables and then how to draw your hypothesis. This will be our first part. Second part, I will be discussing the research methodology, different research philosophies, method, and sampling, how to develop questionnaires, right? So this is the two sections. In our earlier session, we discussed about introduction in chapter 1. We have also discussed about the background information, and in details, we discussed about the problem statement and research gap, followed by how to write your research aim and objective, and the significance of study. That was your chapter 1. So basically, literature review in chapter 2. So what is literature review? We are telling you that literature review. What is it? Basically, in research process, if we notice at the beginning or in chapter 1, you define a problem. Now, while you are defining a problem, it's not you. Other people also need to admit or recognize that this is a problem. If you're telling problem, it's not enough. So you are getting the information or opinion of others. That is here literature. Now, while you are explaining or writing literature review, then based on the opinions and all, you can formulate hypothesis, you do your research design. In chapter 4, you collect data, analyze data, and do your interpretation, you put your conclusion and recommendations. So this is how the basic process of research. Now, what is literature? Literature basically a collection of all scholarly writings on a topic. I remember all the scholarly written. It's not a blog. It's not what they call a personal letter or no. All the scholarly letter. Now, how do we define the scholarly letters writings? The scholarly writings published in recognized journals, articles, in the textbook, in the form of a textbook. So later we will see the sources of literature. So basically, you remember the literature is a collection of the scholarly writing, not the personal one. There's some definition as well that a literature review surveys scholarly articles, books, other sources. For example, the dissertation, the previous students or the past students who have done the dissertations or theses, conferences, proceedings, etc., to a relevant topic. Its purpose is to demonstrate the writer has insignificantly and critically surveyed relevant literature on his or her topic in order to convince the intended audience that topic is worth addressing. So again, here scholarly writing, they give you more information like articles, books, journals, conferences, dissertations, etc. So, and they have added, added a one purpose that the area you are going to do your research has an importance. So how we know it is important? Because the other people are also talking about this. The other people are also doing the research. The other also have already researched about the same topic. So you know there are some relevance. There's some importance about the topic that you are doing the research. So this from Irene Law. So based on this, if we define again literature review, a systematic method of identifying, remember, identifying, evaluating, interpreting, three things. Identify first. That means you refer to the sources of literature. Then you identify this is relevant to my topic. Then you evaluate. I mean, you read. Okay, is it important? How much important? Not important? And interpret. Then you what do you call? You relate to your work. Produced by researchers, scholars, and practitioners. This is another definition from Fink in 1998. So the literature reviews in interpretation and synthesis of a published work. Published where? Published in recognized journal, recognized by the recognized publishers. Now this looks a bit complex, but overall this slide presents all the important information about your literature review. Is it clear? Can you guys read it? Right? All right. So you see the literature review, then it got some what we call the investigations. What investigation? Come to your research topic. Basically, the topic you are doing the research, then the processes, systematic way of finding the other people work. So in step one, you identifying the keyword related to your topic. Then search for the existing literatures. In our orientation, I believe I show you how to do some searching. I will do it again today. Then searching the existing literatures, you followed by evaluate the results. So perhaps you are looking for customer satisfaction for online purchasing in Hong Kong or in Kuala Lumpur in a specific area. You will be finding thousands of articles are coming in. So you need to evaluate which one need to relate, need to do shortlisting. Then documenting your findings. So you go to their abstract, read their abstract, then you will find what is this article all saying about. Now, once you identify, then you will do, it will also relate to your research question, research objectives, research design. It will be also related to your theories, especially when you find a relevant article related to your topic, you will be looking what source of theory they have used. All right, so this is important. And this is how you also will find your theoretical framework. Remember, you need to put your theoretical framework in literature review part or in chapter 2. So how to find this? Number one, to identify your keyword, search the existing literatures. Then you will find many journals articles. You will do evaluation. You will do a short list. Then you will see what theories they have used. Is it still relevant? Do you want to use the same theory or you want to use a different theory? It's up to you. There is no hard and fast. Or you do you want to do some changes in the existing theory? Remember in our last class, we show you the literature gap, or what do you call in the problem statement, there are some gap, knowledge gap, theoretical gap, etc., etc. So how to do that? I will show you some example as well. So you want to find some theories, then you want to use exactly the same theory. You want to do some modification, that will be your theoretical gap. Then what method they use? The past studies, if they use quantitative, you might use qualitative, or you might use mixed method. What source of data they use? Is it primary or secondary? Then you can decide. You can also decide the location of your research. So all this information will come to this. So I will be sharing with this slide later on, so you can see. Basically, literature review is in one slide now. So let's move on. Any questions so far here? No question, right? So again, I'm repeating, what is literature review? By that, you have an understanding what is literature review. Read the published work. So the published in journals, conferences, in a form of textbook, interpret, try to digest it, then synthesize. You need to rewrite, you need to correlate, you need to integrate, right? So we are finding the different definitions of literature review. Right. Now, what are the purpose actually? Why we need to do literature review in our research? See, number one, show the relationship between previous studies or theories. So you're doing research, not something out of blue moon. You need to do so, show some relevance to the previous, number one. Provide a context of your own research. Why you are doing this research? Remember, the moment you can answer all these points, it will be much easier for you to write your literature review. Identify the main ideas, conclusion, theories, and establish the similarities and differences with the existing literature. So you will be looking into the other published works, you will identify what are their key information or key message they want to provide, what are the theories they have used, what are the similarities or dissimilarities, so you will note all these. Then identify the main methodologies and research techniques. This is what I told you earlier, that you will see the literatures that you have identified. Then you will see what type of method they use. Is it they use quantitative or qualitative, or they use mixed mode or both modes? So you can see. Then identify the major seminal work. Major seminal work means the work published in different seminars. Find other people working in your field. So who else working on the same field? Identify the gap in literature. The gaps we discussed in details in our previous section. There are 6 or 7 types of gap. You have knowledge gap, you have theoretical gap, you have empirical gap, you have evidence gap, you have knowledge gap, so etc., etc. And the last one is find out what the information already exists in your field of research. This is important. Find out what the information already exists. I mean, other people already research. See, if you're doing the same thing, is no new knowledge. It's not important. People will find it boring because other people already have done it. So why you need to do it? So you will, the moment you find what is already been done, then you know what is not done or what is needed to be done. Right? This is how you fill the gap. Right. So we have seen the purpose of the literature review. So literature review also show you a through professional graphs of the idea to justify your research. It will give a justification, a proper literature review. Justify your approach, the way you are doing your research, to synthesize literature in the appropriate in academic style, right? It will give you the academic credibility. Now, what is literature and what is not literature review? Some people thinking doing an annotation. I mean, you read something and then you rewrite in your own words. It's a literature. Actually, it's not. You can do certain type of paraphrase and do your what you call citation. Give the reference. That is fine. That is fine. Absolutely fine. But if you only paraphrase the other people's idea and you don't give your input, you don't show kind of comparison, it's not literature review. You just put a list of seemingly unrelated sources, it is also not literature review. A literature review survey contain others, bio, list, work, summaries. Summary of the other people's work is also not literature review. Background information or explanation of the concepts without relating to your own topic, it is also not a literature review. So please take note all these 4 points. And not cut and paste. Cut and paste the moment you do is already plagiarized work. So the importance of the literature review, I only use the brain that I have, but I also that I can borrow. This is very interesting. Woodrow Wilson, he said, when you write only you about yours or yourself, that is you are using only your brain. But when you do a literature review, you are also looking about the other people's brain, other people's work. This is important. So there are four main important reasons why we need to do a literature review is to focus on the previous research. So provide an overview and critical appraisal of the past and current thinking, ideas, policies, and practices similar to your topic. Show how your study fill the gap. This is what exactly I showed you in the chart earlier, that the moment you know in the same similar area, for example, Tony has chosen retail industry, right? Or property. Property, yeah. So you have chosen a topic on the property. So you need to show what the other research has been done on the same topic, same area, and what research already been produced. Then you know what are things you need to do now, right? So this is how your research will fill the gap. Provide a basis upon which to make a critical decision regarding your direction of research. The necessity and rationale of your study. So when you are explaining, you'll be also putting kind of your importance, rationale, justification. Set your boundary of your study. Determine the scope and the specific objective. Because in chapter 1, you already put your objectives. Very clear, 3 or 4 or 5 objectives. So your literature review also make sure within that scope, it doesn't go something out of this limit. So focus on the previous research, show how your study fill the gap, the necessity and rationale of your study, set the boundary of your study. This is what summary, the main objectives of doing literature review. Now there are some other reasons as well, that a proper or good literature review will help you to distinguish what has been done and what needs to be done. It will synthesizing and gaining a new perspective. You will be able to identify a relationship between ideas and practice. You will also be able to establish the context of your topic or your research problem. So this will also enhance or increase and acquiring the subject vocabulary. What is the subject vocabulary? I will be sharing with you later on. In research, the certain word you can use, certain word you cannot use. So the terms you can refer to the other published works, right? So you can relate to your other work. It will also relate to ideas and theories application. It increases your theoretical background, identify the main methodology and research technique that has been used. It will give an idea. It will cause you a change of your mind, because the moment you will read a different what do you call literatures, or maybe on the same topic but different parts of the literature. Some are the literature published in Asian countries, European countries, or the other Western countries. So although it is the same perspective, same objective, you will find different results. Why? You see, the understanding of certain places, the people of, and let's say understanding of subcontinent or India or other Southwest Asian countries, and understanding of the Middle East people, or understanding of the European people on a similar topic, you will find different results, right? So it will give a wider ideas, and it will change your mind. It develop and improve the skill to source the materials. It will also develop your skills, summarize and synthesize information. Now, so if we find the summary, what is your literature review? Number one is find it. So knowing the literature type, you are using available sources, your search skills, then how to manage it. You will manage it, read efficiently, keep track of your references, writing relevant annotations, use it. Now, when you use it, you will be starting getting ideas from different journals. Basically, to your own research topic, develop your questions, arguing rationale, designing method, then review it, understand the purpose of it, ensure adequate coverage, write purposefully, working on style and tone, etc. So initially, once you identified your problem and all, and you like to do your research on literature review, you need to do a planning. And we also call it as a journal or article mapping. I will be showing you how to do the mapping. Once you have identified your topic, you need to collect at least 30 to 40 or 50 journals on directly related to your topic. It's directly. You will be getting some idea, general ideas, start reading it. Then what time of the reading of search, how from back, okay. I always recommend our students not to go more than 5 years. That means 60 to 70% of your literature, 60 to 70% literature should be latest 5 years. That is 2022 now. You can go 2021, 2019 and 18. So to 2018 to 2022, 60 to 70%. The other 30% you can go beyond this, because some textbook published in 1990, some theories established in 1980, 1952, 1978. Although there are some modifications and update, but originality is back then that time. So 30%, if you do citation, the old one, don't mind, it's okay, accepted. But make sure 60 to 70% latest 5 years. And what is you want to get out of the search, how you are going to manage your search, the list of the sequence of the search to be, all these things you need to do your planning. And you also need to decide what is known. So what are the things you are very well versed, and what are the most important landmark works within the field referred to regularly or in your studies? I mean, your findings from the readings. What method you need to decide already? What theoretical and conceptual framework, right? Theoretical framework, as I mentioned, when you were reading your journals after identification, so there will be different types of theories. For example, if you want to do some technological adoption, we call TAM, technology adoption model, developed by the Davis, is somehow early 80s. If you want to do what you call Roger, he developed innovation of technology, right? So he developed another theory. If you go to service quality, Parasuraman, he developed service quality model, right? So there are different theories. So based on your topic, is it you need to find a relevant theory. How to find relevant theory? You need to read it. All right, this one already discussed. Now, starting to think about the literature, who are the key players in my field? All right. So if you want to write anything about the service, it will come about the Parasuraman. If you want to talk anything about technology adoption, it will come Davis. Later, this theory also further developed and modified by Venkatesh, right? So who is established figure or the academician in your field? What are the main ideas or debates in the field? How you have these ideas changed over time? And what some of the problems of this idea debates? Is there any problem with the methodology? So this will come out from your reading. The first stage of the literature review is to identify the key people in your field. So Tony, you have decided or the property management. So what are the established or what, first of all, what are the issue identified? And who wrote actually the studies, or what are the studies has been done on the same field? What are the theory they have used, etc., etc. So you need to find this here. Now, we are saying that to find the information from the scholarly sources. So what does it mean, the scholarly? Expert, the researchers, government agencies, the government websites. This also recognized. Credible scholars, your peer review, fact and check and verified, right? So these are the sources you can refer to get your literatures. So how many of you are familiar with the Google Scholar? No, huh? None. All right. Google Scholar is also a source whereby you can get all the journals. Example, let me share with you. You can see here, right? So you just type Google Scholar here. It will appear like this. So let's say you want to search an article here. What was your topic again, Tony? Unmuted.
Yeah, it is about the reliability of the quotas X step change model search on the internet.
Reliability
of
information, isn't it?
Yeah, reliability of information from the internet.
Internet regarding your property management.
Yeah.
You see here, 491,000 articles here. So 495 is almost impossible for you to read, isn't it? You cannot. Now, you see, if you want to do a lot of, further search, you can do here. Probably in Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Now it further reduced, now 21,000 only. Still not manageable. Okay. So if you search in this way, it will reduce, but still you won't get your desired. So you can do like this. Reliability, you put inverted comma, all of you, I think you all can see, right? Put inverted reliability plus, again inverted, put information, put again plus, internet. Internet. Now you do, you see, 3,000 only, 3,130. See, from 46,000, it comes only 3,000. If you do further go like this, Hong Kong. Now it's 4,000. Okay, reliability of, I forgot your title. Hong Kong property. Okay, now property management we put, it will be some more or less. Oh, sorry. Now only 63.
Mm.
So 63 article you can read, isn't it? You can read easily. Now how to read is, let's say, just click into this and download this article, PDF. So you can see here. Some of the articles are free, but some of them are not free. Risk management in the property, you see here. See here. This is the article. So this is how you do your search. Now, how many I said? I said minimum 30 to 40 or 50 articles you need to find out on the same topic. And you will do a mapping. How to do the mapping? Let me share you. So this is how you will find the information, right? We'll be coming into this. And you see here, just now we talk about the property management, right? And reliability, then internet information. These all of your are variables. These are the variables. And you can do like this. We show you. This is how you do your mapping. So you create a Word file like this, author, who wrote this, the title of the journal, which journal this was published, the purpose of the study, what was the purpose, the type of the study, is it quantitative, qualitative, descriptive, or investigative, result, what was the result, and implication, what was the issue, what was the limitation. So you do this number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, like this, you will go up to 30 to 40. The moment you have done your 40, then you start writing your literature review. Do you understand? Do not read 1 or 2 paper, then you go for literature review, then you don't have enough information, you will stuck halfway. Clear? All of you clear? Now let's continue this. So once you find this, you will be start writing your literature review. Now, how to do a literature review? For example, you are writing on something customer satisfaction. So the marketing and consumer behavior literature has traditionally suggested that customer satisfaction is a relative concept and always just in relation to a standard. Who explained this? Hollander in 1977. Consequently, in this course of its development, a number of different competing theories based on the standard has been postulated for explaining customer satisfaction. The theories include in the expectancy disconfirmation paradigm, EDP, the value percept theory, the arbitration theory, the equity theory, the comparison level of theory, the evaluation congruity theory, the person situation fit model, the performance importance model, the dissonance and contrast theory. So you see, regarding customer satisfaction, there are many theories being used. So same thing, your cases also, your problem or your research area, there are theories you need to find it out. Once you have find it out, you need to start writing. So one of the way to start writing is to do a paraphrasing, right? Let me show you something, how to do this. And you all need a pen and paper, or maybe you can work from your laptop as well. Let me share with you one link. So one of the ways to do your paraphrasing, you see, when you read different journals or articles, look into this, the number one activity. Under the new drive of transformation and change, principal in Malaysia will also be increasingly held accountable for school performance and school outcomes. Who wrote this? John Adams in 2015. Now, what is ETAL means when the writer is three or more for one article, we put it at all, at all. So when a paragraph is inverted, you see the inverted, that means direct quotation. So when you read something direct, you don't want to put in your thesis direct. You need to do kind of paraphrasing. There are different types of paraphrase. There are different ways you can do. I have stated here three modes. You see, the first one, I put John et al. Stated that as a new drive of transformation and change, principle in Malaysia should be accountable for. So same idea, but in different language. This number one, style number one. You can do another style that it is claimed that principals are needed to be responsible for school performances as well as school outcome drive transformation changes in Malaysia. You see, the same. The third one, according to the Jones et al., under the new drive of transformation and change, principal Malaysia will need to increasingly held accountable for performance. You see, different three style. You all got an idea, right? Now, let's do what you want to double check, have a look again. I will give you one exercise to do it. Right. In your chat box, I have given a link. All of you click into this.
Sorry, Doctor, we need to be authorized to access the file.
All right. Check now, all of you should be accessed. All of you got the access, right? Yeah, name, under the name column, you write your name. So here you write, maybe, yeah, correct, Tony, you can write your name. Then you write, this is the exact, what you call, a quotation. So you rephrase this, paraphrase this in three style. Just now I showed you. So Albert can look into the second, someone can go into third, and like this. Do it now. In 5 minutes time, I give you 5 minutes. Albert, take your time, and it's okay. You take your time. So far, all of you have done one style only. I have shown you another two style. Try to write in 3 different styles. Probis, what happened? You can't access, is it? Yes, Albert, it's shared with you. You can check now. Okay, I think all of you stop now. Let's see what you have done. So the first one is Tony's one. Tony, I just now I mentioned that if it is at all ET and AL, it means the writer is more than 3. So you can only write Shaipu 3 et al. No need this, no need this. Understand, right? And so Shaipu 3 et al. Stated the perceptions of the role of principal in Indonesia continue to be firmly associated with the routine management. This is fine. This is fine, no problem. Number 2, perception. You see, if you do paraphrasing, you cannot do this. It's wrong already. Cannot. Inverted comma means it's not your word. It's somebody else said. Who said? Shaipu 3 said. It's not your word. So this is wrong. Here I purposely actually put 2 to confuse you guys, and you are confused already. You cannot put a 2, 1. Et al. Means only 1. Like this. You can put now is correct. Previously, no. The last one, in Indonesia, the role of principal continued to be as perceived as firmly associated with the management administration is okay. But again, Shaipu 3 et al. No need this. All right. Next one is Ken. Ken, right? Shaipu 3 et al. 215 stated that it's okay, good. Number 1 is good. Ken. For number 2, claim Ken wrote, it is claimed that a perception is okay. It's good. According to Shaipu 3 et al., it's also good. Also good. So Ken is okay, good, very good. Victor, right? According to Shaipu 3, no, you cannot put 2. You need to put either one. Either one, Victor. The rest is okay. Number 1. Number 2, Victor wrote, Indonesia is continued to be firmly associated with the routine management when this is this. Again, the reference is wrong. It's to be Shaipu. Shaipu 3 is Shaipu 3 only. It is only one author is enough. And Probis wrote, Suminto et al. 2015 stated that the principle in Indonesia is correct. But Probis, you wrote only one style. I showed you 3 different styles. Now, in the Google Drive, I gave you a textbook. I show you. This is the textbook called Academic Phrase Bank. So when you guys, you want to do paraphrasing, you all need to do a lot of connecting word, a lot of new ideas, and this book will help you. If you want to purchase it, about a few $100. So I give you. Look here. A key aspect is dash. For example, your topic is what we call property management. A key aspect of property management is, then you can write few lines. So a lot of connecting words. X means in the place of X, you just put your idea. So it will be a lot of connecting words. You can write easily. See here. Recently or more recently, there has been a growing interest in property management. Then you can add your sentences. Property management has been studied widely since this. So different sentence structure, you can use this academic phrase bank, right? You see here, probably internet information plays a key role reducing or increasing or this what you call you can write, you can easily make sentences using these phrases, right? And also you want to contrast, you want to continue, or you want to make contrast and comparison, you can use it, all these things. So you can write it has been noted that, it has been argued that, it is shown that. You don't need to repeat the same word. You understand that? So there are a lot of variation of academic phrases. In earlier I told you about the academic phrases. So this is all about the academic phrases. You can use this book a lot. So let's continue to our slide. So once you have done identify these, then you need to do what you call find your theoretical framework. How it look like? Let me show you. This is kind of theoretical framework. Theoretical framework is already established and published by some other researchers. So it's nothing, you cannot create new. Students are always confused between the theoretical framework and conceptual framework. Remember, theoretical framework is based on the theory. There is no changes here. Established one. And conceptual theory or framework is yours. So based on your study, based on your literature, you identify different factors. Then based on that, you have developed your own framework, which is known as conceptual framework. So this is an example of theoretical framework. And all these you notice here, value proposition, need, expectation, experience, these we call variables. This one we call it variables. So you have independent variables, you have dependent variables. Now, what is independent and what is dependent? You see, in order to increase customer satisfaction, you need empathy, you need tangibility, you need assurance, you need responsiveness, you need reliability. So this variable, dependent variable, is subject to these factors. What are the factors? Empathy, tangibility, assurance, responsiveness, reliability. So you see, customer satisfaction will only increase when you have the functionality of these factors. If there is no responsiveness, customer satisfaction won't increase. So this is dependent on some other factors. So a dependent variable is always dependent on the other factors. And whereas independent variables are, these factors work independently. It doesn't need any, it doesn't depend on any others, right? So this is your independent variables and dependent variables. You also have mediating variables and moderating variables. Let me show you some other variables examples. So we talk about the dependent and independent. So here, intention to shop online is your dependent. What are the independent? Your attitude, towards online shopping, subject norm, perceived behavior, etc. Now, what is your mediating and moderating? You look into this, I don't know, is it very small? Or let me increase the size. You see, the quality of life here is your dependent, whereby your user experience is mediating. And overall innovation and creativity, resident engagement, IT-enabled services quality, all are your dependent. So in order to increase the quality of life, you need to have the independent factors are like overall innovation and creativity, your resident engagement, IT-enabled services. These are independent factors, whereby these factors work to increase the user experiences. And when user experiences increases, they feel quality of life. So the quality of life have some other factors. Those factors are depending and some are mediating. Now, what is moderating? Moderating is here trust level. The moment you have more trust, you have more quality of life. User experiences will increase when you have trust. When you don't have trust or lesser trust, user experience will reduce again, or bad experiences. This is known as moderating. So moderating variable, you have push factor and pull factor. Again, if you want to, let's say example, you want to increase the online shopping customer what you call satisfaction. One of the moderating factor can be your internet or the speed of the internet, or technology factors, or the interface of the system. Yeah. So regarding your moderating, mediating, do you have any question? And do you have any question regarding the variables? No. So you got it now, independent, dependent, you have your moderating and mediating variables. Now you see, empathy got a relationship with customer. This relationship can be positive or can be negative. You don't know yet because you haven't done your survey yet. So this is how you develop your hypothesis. So you can put your null hypothesis that empathy has no relationship with customer satisfaction, or you can also put empathy has a significant and positive relationship with customer satisfaction. Same. One hypothesis. Hypothesis two, you can put tangibility has a direct positive and significant relationship with customer satisfaction, or tangibility doesn't have any relationship with your customer satisfaction. This is how you will develop your hypothesis 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, we are how to do the research approach. What is the research approach? The range of literature explore the background of material which is broadly relevant to your study. Yes, it is too broad. Literature research studies will also address the issues closely related to your study. Literature which is directly related to your study. So there are different types of literature you find which is directly related. For example, your cases, Tony, you can find some internet information, or you will find some article on the property management. So different. Some you will find direct related, some you will say you find partial related. So you need to build this up all. So literature sources, I already showed to you. ProQuest, your online library, LIRN, you can go there. You can find it out, all the information. Other sources, your library, as I showed just now, your Google Scholar, different sources. How you manage is up to you. So you need to, things you need to extract from the material, that definition or problem or theory, technique, interpretations, the concepts, the arguments in different journals or articles, evidence, a perspective or their style, justification, etc. You can get an idea from the published articles. Again, for your digesting, you need to analyze, synthesize, comprehend, and then you find your knowledge. Right. When you read, you do analysis, and then you synthesize information from the various articles. So the metrics I have shown you earlier, you do. The metrics will help you to synthesize the information and find out which article is relevant, which is not relevant. So once you have identified, now you need to start writing. Start writing, you can do paraphrasing, then you put your own idea, you can make comparison, you make contrast, you can put a different perspective. All right. Think critically, yeah. This and all we have done. Planning review. Now, how you need to write? You can put chronologically. If there is an what you call there is a stages of or the historical topics. You can put chronologically what happened in 1990, then 2000, 2010, 2015. You can put your information in literature review chronologically. Second option, you can write thematically. For example, you have identified 5 or 6 factors. So you will be explaining the factors by factors thematically. By trend or approaches, or by major debate or controversies, probably a combination of all these. This is up to you how you want to write. These are suggestion only. These are only a suggestion. Albert said, metrics review is good advantage. Yes, metric review is good for you. So that if you do a matrix, you know how many articles you have already viewed and what article is about what. Then it will give you an advantage to write your literatures. So you can write the chronological example. You can also, this is an example of thematically how to write, etc., etc. So reporting verbs, here the verbs, I already give you the academic phrase bank, enough verbs and all, everything you have. So this is just, I'm showing you here. You can, like how to develop paragraphs and all, and the flow, you just refer to your academic phrase bank I have given to you, right? Now, this is about all about your research literature review. So once you complete your literature review, I repeat, when you start writing your literature review, first of all, you do a mapping. Once you've done your mapping, you start writing your literature. When you are writing your literature, you also identify the theories. At the beginning, you will be explaining all the facts, the variables, then you will relate to the theory, develop conceptual framework, identify the hypothesis. Then this is how you end your chapter 2. Now it will come about the chapter 3.
Sorry, Doctor, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned that we need to have 30 to 40 literature to review. Do you mean that's for our thesis proposal?
No. This is proposal. You cannot. This is proposal is few enough. Okay, again, 30, 40, whatever I said, to just give an idea. Not necessary you have to follow exactly, no. Okay. I mean, the moment you do a 30 to 40, you are in safe side. And please, for proposal, you cannot write all these things. Proposal will be short manner. It's 4,000 plus words. It's very few pages only. Now, chapter 3, you will be starting as your research methodology. What is research methodology? The methodology is an approach to the process of research, encompassing the body of methods and method, technique, data collection, etc., etc. Okay, I'm sure all of you are familiar with this. This is called a research onion, right? So if you notice the first one, we call philosophy. We have positivism, interpretism, objectivism, subjectivism, pragmatism. These are all research philosophy. You can refer to the textbook that I gave you step by step, and there's another textbook in your LMS called by the Saunders research methodology. So you can read all this. Basically, in social science or business admin, we always refer our student to do a positive, follow the positivism philosophy. Now, second layer, if you notice, called approaches. Deductive approach or inductive approach. You can also call it your qualitative analysis or quantitative. So quantitative is basically deductive and qualitative is your inductive. The third layer, you see the strategy, how. So usually the student do survey, but you also can do experiment. Experiment is normally in applied sciences like physics, chemistry in the lab. So business, you can do also case study. You can do action research, grounded theory, ethnography, or archival research. There are different strategies. The next one, you see the choices. You want to do mono method, I mean the single method, or multi-method, or mixed method. The next one is cross-sectional and longitudinal. Cross-sectional, for example, your DBA students, you have 2 years time to complete. So this is a specific. This is a specific. You don't have what we call unlimited time frame. So that is called your the cross-sectional or longitudinal, your time horizon. Then comes to your data collection and data analysis part. This is the research onion. You can refer to this. So I have explained here what is positivism, what is relativism, what is interpretism, pragmatism. You can read it. Basically, I mentioned positivism is quantitative. It only deals with your numbers. There are many software available or statistical tools you can use as Spaces, Amos, or SAM, or Smart PLS to analyze the data. All right, and then present. Whereby interpretism is qualitative. It is, you will take you go to your people and then you take interview, then analyze the adapted to the specific task, and then analyze begin as a data collected, etc., etc. Research choices, you can go for mono method, I mean single mode, or you can go for mixed mode, qualitative, quantitative, or you want to follow the mode. Deductive approach and inductive, I already explained. Deductive, your quantitative approach or qualitative approach. Then the most important part is sampling, right? For example, in Hong Kong, maybe 100,000 people are staying, and there are, let's say, 30 or 40,000 people are directly related to the property management. So you cannot actually go to the 30,000 people and take the data. So what do we need to do? We need to do sampling. How to do the sampling? There are many methods here. So look into this, define the population, who are the population, determine the sampling frame. How to determine? There are some theory. Normally we follow Kerjian-Morgan framework, right? You see here, you got probability sampling, non-probability sampling. Under your probability, you have the simple random, stratified random, systematic, or cluster, or multi-stage, right? Or non-probability, you can go for quota, snowball, etc. All the definitions are explained in your book I provided to you earlier. Just go and read it. Probably in social science, usually we do the probability sampling, and under probability sampling, you can do simple random or stratified or systematic or cluster-based or multi-stage level. Now, how to do determine the sample size? We always use the Kerjian-Morgan. Let me show you his table. See here, this is Kerjian-Morgan sample size. Some students or researchers, they use what we call G-power. This is a software also, how to determine. Following Kerjian-Morgan, which is the established method, let's say your population is, total population is 220. So how many sample size you need? You need 10. If your population is 1,100, you need sample size minimum is 136. Your population probably 6,000, then you need 361 minimum sample size. So this is the established mode of determining sample size by Kerjian Morgan. Is one of the famous researchers. So again, in chapter 3, you will be writing your research methodology. So in the research methodology, you will be telling us your approach. You are going to do your qualitative or quantitative. What would be your research philosophy? Is it positivism or interpretism or objectivism? Then you will define who are your samples, how you're going to collect the data. So once you finalize all these things, you need to create your questionnaire or the survey form. This questionnaire or survey form, how to develop, you will discuss with your supervisor. At the moment, I won't be able to do it to guide you, right? Because your supervisor will help you how to do that. And you need to get actually your supervisor approval first before you collect your data. Then in chapter 4, you will be collecting your data and analyze your data using the tools, statistical tools like at doctorate level, you can go for SPSS or AMOS or SmartPLS, whatever the tools you want. Do not use a simple Excel file and use data, please. Do not use a simple Excel file and use data. Use any statistical tool because it is a doctorate level. Then in chapter 5, you'll be writing conclusion. In conclusion, one of the things that student always miss is what you call they fail to identify the objectives or research question they put in chapter 1, whether they achieve or not. So one of your challenges would be, how you have achieved your research objectives. You need to put in your chapter 5 with the support of your data analysis part, right? You need to use all these. Then you will be also presenting your contribution to the knowledge. What is that? Or newness. What is the new knowledge in your research? So that is the key area. Then based on the fact or issue you have identified, you will be giving some recommendation for further research and all. You can also discuss about your limitations while you are doing the research, right? So this is how you will your research journey would be. So now you are given a period until 31st March to write your proposal, right? So all of you, I am sure that you have identified your topic. You can start writing your proposal. The content Albert said sent to me is fine. Tony, your case is your research questions there, but I don't see your research aim and objectives. And your problem statement is very short, very short. You need to explain it further. And I didn't see any citation here. So if you say a problem, it's not a problem unless other people are also in agreement that this is a problem. You really need to investigate this, need to study this. All right. So you need to give some citation, which will give you the strength or in what you call, which will give the more credibility. So I'm almost end of our session here today. The last part is your Harvard referencing style. I'm sure you know there are a lot of notes here. There are some YouTube link also. You can go to the YouTube and see how to do. I always suggest my student use the software called Mendeley. Mendeley is a software that very easy to, but you need to know how it works. All right. Once you plug into your Word file, you just it will be very easy to put your citations, and it will keep a record as well, online record, right? So I open the floor for questions. We start. We go one by one. Let's start with Tony. Any questions?
No, so far that's okay for me. Thank you.
So you got an idea, you can write your proposal first, right? All right. Provis? Provis, do you have any questions? No. All right. Albert? All right, no questions. How about Lau?
I'm Victor actually.
All right.
For me, I just have one question. I just thinking. Actually, we are part-time student, and I'm not sure if we are able to get enough survey from other people. I think because although we are in the industry, but I see there is a lot of survey we have to do. For example, 300 or more. So I just see the difficulties to get those survey come back.
All right. Now, I don't know how far you have understand this. Okay, not necessarily 300, 400 or whatever. The survey, how many you need to do, all depend on your research topic. Let's say you have identified your topic or organization, their employee is a few hundred only. So based on the few hundred, let's say you have few hundred, then you go for 30% or 40%. It's only 30, 40 or 50. But if you chose something a larger or broad area, then you need to collect. In that case, you can always discuss with your supervisor. Your supervisor will be guiding you how to do collection of data. So it's not necessary. The table I show you is your guiding principles only. In actual scenario, how many data you need to collect, your supervisor will be guiding you.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Kenny, you got any question?
I have no question at this moment. I'm just thinking what I should do for the research topic. Now I'm thinking.
All right, all right. Smart chain, who is this?
Yes, I'm Alan.
Alan,
Professor.
all right. Yep.
Yes, I'm Alan. Do you think qualitative analysis and do you think both qualitative and quantitative analysis must be adopted in our thesis?
Thank you.
Or we can only choose one method?
Alan, you can choose either one, or you can choose
Either
both.
one, okay.
That all will depend on the identification or the area of your research. Some research quantitative is enough. Some you might need to get some idea, interview and all, that is qualitative. Or in some cases, it would be great if you can combine. So this one, I won't suggest anything now because it all depends on your research area. And these things you will be discussing with your supervisor. But yes, for the purpose of your proposal writing also, you need to state. So you can choose either one. There is no issues on that. Let's say you have chosen quantitative, but after discussing with your supervisor, you feel, no, I have to do qualitative as well. There is no harm on this. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. And may I email my draft of proposal to you before formal submitting to the university?
Can, no problem. You can email me.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much. Yes.
So I wish you a good research journey with the Britain University. We end our session here. All right. Good night.